It began as a typical autumn afternoon in the quiet village of Dunwick. Leaves rustled beneath the boots of travelers, and the scent of wood smoke drifted through the crisp air. Among the villagers, there was a tale often whispered around fireplaces and passed down like a warning. Never enter the Wraithpine Forest after sunset. They said it was cursed. They said no one ever returned. But Evelyn Gray, a young journalist with a stubborn streak and a fascination for the strange, wasn't one to heed old superstitions. She had come to Dunwick chasing a rumor about the forest, intent on writing a feature for a mystery magazine. Everyone told her the same story. People disappeared in the woods. No bodies, no clues, just the echo of footsteps swallowed by shadows. She wasn't afraid. She laughed at the legends. And so on the evening of October 12th, with a recorder in her pocket and a flashlight in her hand, Evelyn crossed the wooden bridge into Wraithpine. That was the last anyone saw of her. Days turned into weeks. Search parties found nothing. Her car remained parked by the bridge, untouched. The villagers stopped talking about her. It was as if she had never existed. But then, 3 months later, something changed. Late one night, a hunter named Bram was tracking a wounded deer near the forest's edge when he heard a faint humming. It was an eerie melody, almost mechanical, coming from deep within the trees. Against his better judgment, he followed it. There, hanging from a low branch, was Evelyn's recorder, still functioning, still recording. He pressed play. What he heard sent a chill through his bones. Evelyn's voice trembling. "I don't know where I am. The trees, they're moving. I swear I saw someone watching me, but when I turned around, there was nothing. I've been walking in circles. There's no way out." Then, a second voice whispered through the static, one that didn't sound human. "She belongs to the forest now." The recording ended, but the forest wasn't done. Bram stood frozen, the recorder trembling in his calloused hand. The woods around him had grown unnaturally silent. No wind, no owls, not even the usual rustling of unseen creatures. The forest seemed to listen. He backed away slowly, but a soft crunch behind him made him spin. Nothing, just trees. But they looked closer than before. He squinted. No, they were closer. The trunks seemed to shift subtly when he wasn't looking, bending in unnatural angles, like they were leaning in to watch. He bolted. When Bram returned to the village, he was pale and breathless. He tried to convince others to listen to the recording, but something strange had happened. The device refused to play again. It would whir and click, but the file, Evelyn's voice, was gone. Still, Bram knew what he had heard. He began researching the forest's history. Legends of the Wraithpine stretched back centuries, stories of ancient rituals, of a presence that devoured the lost. Some said the forest was a boundary, a living veil between this world and another, a place where the rules of nature broke down. The deeper he dug, the more obsessed he became. Then one morning he was gone too. Only his journal remained behind, filled with notes and scribbled maps of the forest's layout, as if he had tried to track something or someone. The final page had just one sentence, written hastily in red ink. "She called to me in a dream. Evelyn is still alive, but not the same. Now, people in Dunwick speak in hushed tones of shadowy figures glimpsed near the tree line, and soft humming heard on windless nights. And the forest waits." Years passed. Dunwick became quieter, smaller. Fewer people came, and those who stayed rarely spoke of the forest. But the legend of Evelyn Gray lived on, the woman who vanished chasing a story, and the hunter who followed her into darkness. One summer evening just before dusk, a child named Elsie wandered too close to the edge of Wraithpine. Her parents found her moments later, staring silently into the trees. When they called her name, she turned with wide, unblinking eyes and said something strange. "She says the forest is full now. It doesn't need anyone else." Then she smiled, not her usual smile, but something colder, older, like it didn't quite belong on a child's face. That night, a storm rolled in. Wind howled through the village, and the trees of Wraithpine thrashed wildly as if trying to tear themselves free. When morning came, the forest had changed. The bridge was gone. Where it once stood, there was only thick mist and still water. And Evelyn Gray? She was never found. But sometimes, on nights when the moon is high, travelers say they hear a voice from the forest's edge. Faint, distant, humming the same eerie tune recorded all those years ago. No one crosses the new border, not anymore, because everyone in Dunwick now believes what Evelyn once refused to. The forest chooses who it keeps, and it never gives them back.